My name is Abbot Christopher Jamison, and I'm the Abbot President of the English Benedictine Congregation, which was founded in the 13th century, and then, after the dissolution of the monasteries, refounded in France in the early 17th century. I think what surprises people is how many people were living in monasteries at that time. It was a very popular movement for men and women. And one of the most surprising things about it was how they created a whole subculture that was different to the barbarian invasions going on around them. And they created a culture of peace and humanity in a sea of real confusion around them. And it was very appealing for that reason. There were some very powerful women in monasteries and leading monasteries, and lots about Ethelreda here. And you can see the position of women in society in those days was very strong. And to some extent, it then went backwards. At the time of the Reformation, the role of women took a lower place, I think. There are two aspects of the show that are staying with me. The first one is the way that time was calculated in monasteries, a whole section about time and the importance of calculating time, because we call the community prayer is known as the liturgy of the hours. So you had to get the time right to know when to ring the bell to summon people to prayer. And then you also had to know the right time to celebrate the great feast days like Christmas, and especially when to celebrate Easter. So the importance of time, and some wonderful exhibits here of the ways that monks calculated time. Secondly, the one that touches me most personally is the Psalter, which shows St Benedict giving the rule to a community of monks. And the image of Benedict is beautifully drawn and gilded. And then at his feet, kissing his feet, is the man who was the scribe for the manuscript, presenting him with it. And it's a very striking image of Benedict passing on his rule and then a scribe handing back a copy of it to Benedict. It's a wonderful, it's a very emotional image in many ways of the interaction between Benedict and the monks who follow his rule. And I found it very, very touching, as well as really beautiful. I think the way that the curators have juxtaposed the modern and the ancient will make people think about the way they're living their own lives. And for example, the section on the rules and obedience, I think is really important, because nowadays people tend to think that they're all very autonomous, that we're all doing our own thing and whatever. Whereas in fact, we're all following 101 rules the whole time, but we're not so conscious of it. And I think what the exhibition will do is make people conscious that we have to choose what is the rule by which we're going to live our lives, what are the rules by which we're going to live our lives. And I think that will be a very worthwhile reflection for people to see that it's not only monks who live life by rules, everybody does. The only thing is our rules are explicit and most people's rules are implicit and perhaps unexamined.
If you could pose a single question to be explored through art, potentially at the Sainsbury Centre, what would that be?
I think one of the biggest challenges today is how to conduct conversation well. And I think there can be a really interesting artistic exploration of conversations. There are some great paintings of conversations and of arguments and disagreements and violence. And at the heart of the rule, we take a vow of conversation, in Latin conversatio morum. And there is something about good conversation that is really important for people to rediscover in an era of increasing polarization.